Hey YouTube family, it is Tiffany here, also known as Seeking Mini-Me VSG, and I'm coming to you guys with a update slash, I'm not sure what I'm going to name this video yet, but this is going to be an update slash just some stuff that I've been thinking about that I'm trying to process through, I guess. I want to try to explain to people, because I had this question myself when I was pre-op, and I asked a couple of people who were like post-op or who had the surgery a while ago, and trying to see if I could figure out like what's the difference, like why were you able to keep your weight off this time as opposed to every other time that you tried to lose weight. Like, how did this surgery change that? Now, while I am only 8 months out, so obviously I haven't gotten to the point where it's like, I've been maintaining for years or anything like that. So, can take my information with a grain of salt, but I've just trying to really think about and really process like what is different this time around than all of the other times that I've attempted to lose weight. So anyways, that's kind of what this video is about. So I want to start first with my stats, which, as you guys know, well, if you've watched my other videos, I'm participating in No Way June, which is an Instagram thing that Fat People Magic, somebody that I follow, proposed basically. So I decided to follow it. Just because the scale, as you guys know from other videos and stuff like that, for those of you who are following me, for those of you who have been following me, for those of you who are new, the scale has kind of been my enemy, especially in the beginning part of the journey when I was like getting on the scale every day, which was really not a good idea for me. I did cut it down to once a week, but now that, things are kind of slowing down for me and I'm getting closer to my goal, I just thought, you know what, let me just take a break. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to join you. So yeah, I've been participating in the No Way June. Okay, so let me go over my set. So I had vertical sleeve gastrectomy, or VSG surgery, which is a type of bariatric surgery for weight loss. And my highest weight ever recorded was 226.8, and that was recorded in January of 2016. My highest weight during this process was 225. So my highest weight with, the whole weight loss surgery process was 225. My pre-liquid diet weight, so before I started my liquid diet for the surgery, was 205.4. And my surgery weight was 195.6. I had surgery on November 22nd of 2017 in Big Hair Medical Center with Dr. Clinton Hall. Okay, so let's see. The last weight that I have for you guys, which I think I did a video on, but my last weight that I had for you guys was week 27. I was at 139.0. That was on May 30th of 2018. So that's my last weight. I don't know where I'm at now. But that was a 56.6 pound loss since surgery, a 66.4 pound loss since I started my liquid diet, and an 87.8 pound loss since my highest weight. So those are my stats. I am currently, right now, I'm coming to you guys, today's Monday, so I'm not quite Wednesday of this week. So June 27th, I will be 31 weeks out. Last week, I hit my official 8 months out. So on the 22nd of June, I am officially 8 months out. I was really floored by that because I don't feel like it's been 8 months. I can't believe how fast time is flying by. Like, I'm 4 months away from my year. Like, insane. Okay, so just want to quick talk about an NSV. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, if you're interested in following me on Instagram, I do more updates on Instagram, like pictures and stuff like that, than I am here on YouTube. I used to do weekly, but things have just been crazy, so I'm just trying to put out videos whenever I can. For those of you who don't follow me, I am a full-time job, and I am going to school full-time this summer. So I've just been crazy busy. And I had my boss, things are even more crazy than before because my boss is on FMLA. And so I'm now running the department, which just, more responsibility, more craziness, all of that kind of stuff on top of everything else that I'm doing. So things have just been crazy. Anyway, so if you want more frequent updates, again, at least a couple of times a week, I'd say, I post on Instagram. You can follow me at same name, Seeking Many Me VSG on Instagram. So yeah, okay, so NSV, and then I'll get into, why I feel the surgery is different as opposed to trying to lose weight on your own. Okay, so a huge thing that happened for me this weekend, I guess? So I have been really, really trying to accept my body for a couple of different reasons. One of the reasons being, so I kind of had it in my head that I was going to get plastics. I was like, once I meet my goal, and I can stick to it, I'm going to get plastics. I'm going to get that tummy tuck that I've always been wanting. I'm going to get, probably some, like a boob, like a lift or something like that. So I had been talking about that a lot. Well, my husband kind of reached out to me. Like, I had been talking about it a lot for probably a couple of months, and he finally, sat me down basically and was like, babe, it bothers me that you're talking about getting all this, plastics and stuff like that. And his standpoint was, some of his reasoning was selfish because he even said, he's like, he didn't say that he's insecure, that it makes him feel insecure. He didn't say those words, but it's really what it was, is because he's like, I don't understand if you're not doing it for me because I don't have an issue with your body and how you look, it's like you're doing it for other people's attention and stuff. And I understand his viewpoint, even though it's completely wrong, 100% wrong. I understand how he can see that or feel that way. So, we talked about it, and, I did explain to him that it has nothing to do with other people. It has to do with me and what I see in the mirror and all of that kind of stuff. But fact of the matter is, whether or not I get plastics, for sure, I have no idea what the future is going to hold. But I am trying to, regardless of if I do or don't get plastics, just accept my body for how it is. One of my goals, and one of those things, was to feel comfortable enough to wear a two-piece bathing suit. So I've been working on that. I've been, I stop and I take the time, when I'm just in like a bra or underwear, to take the time, look at my stomach, try to see the positive things in my change in my body and how I feel and what I can do and all of this kind of stuff. I was just really, really trying to feel good in my own skin, or I really am trying. I'm not done. It's still a work in process, but I'm definitely trying. So one of my goals was to buy a two-piece bathing suit that I felt comfortable in and then feel comfortable enough to wear it. Well, I did that. So I had been looking around for a couple of weeks, trying to just find what styles I like, what I'm going to feel comfortable in. Like, do I want a high-waisted two-piece? Do I want, all of that kind of stuff. I found something and that made me feel decently comfortable. I'm not going to lie and say that I was like, look in the mirror being like, I'm not going to pretend like it was not difficult for me. I literally have not shown my stomach in public since I was probably a young teenager, I would guess, maybe 13, 14. I couldn't even tell you, but I know I was young because I put on weight like around that age, and so I didn't wear two pieces. I felt very self-conscious, and then after having my daughter and all the weight and all that kind of stuff. Even when I lost weight the last time, wasn't that long ago, maybe 5-6 years ago, that I had gotten down to 150. Even then, when I had done that, I still had never accepted my body and felt comfortable enough to wear a two-piece or to show my stomach. So it was definitely a work in progress, but I did it. I found a bathing suit that I really, really liked, that I felt comfortable enough in that I thought I could convince myself to do it. And I'm pretty sure it was Friday, I took my daughter, after work, I took my daughter to our pool. Granted, it's not like, it's our community pool. So it's not like I was in like with a whole lot of people, but it still was out in public, and I wore the bathing suit without a cover up or anything, and I felt pretty damn comfortable. Yeah, I felt good. I really can't remember a time where I felt like, uncomfortable, like people were staring at me or anything like that. I just felt good. So anyways, that was a long-winded NSV. I haven't even gotten to the biggest thing I want to talk about, and I'm already 11 minutes in. Apparently I'm long-winded. Like, I can never keep my videos short. Anyways, okay. So yes, that was a huge thing. I actually have a picture that I had posted on Instagram. If you're curious, you can go check it out over there. But I'm going to try to stick it in here too, so you guys can see what I'm working with. You guys can kind of get an idea. Like, I wasn't accentuating any of my loose skin, but you can kind of get an idea of, some areas. Like, some of my problem areas is my stomach, for one, and my thighs, like my inner thighs. So if you guys are curious, I am going to try to stick that picture in there, which is saying a heck of a lot. I can't even begin to describe how big of a thing that is, that I'm willing to do that, or that I went out in public in that bathing suit. Like, it's a huge thing. I can't even describe it. So anyways, that's a big thing that has happened. So let me go ahead and get into the kind of the big thing. Like I said, I don't know what I'm going to word it or how I'm trying to like get this across, but basically I want to try to tell people like how this is different than with all the other times. And again, I'm just speaking from my own personal experience. All the other times that I have tried to lose weight before in the past and have done it, I've been able to lose weight. I've never had an issue with losing weight. The problem has always been keeping it off and not regaining it. So again, I'm only 8 months out. So I might have to do in a whole nother video that could have a completely different point of view when I'm 2 years out or 4 years out or 5 years out. But at this time, these are kind of the things that I think, because mind you, I'm 8 months out, but which is not a long period of time, but yet in the same breath, it is 8 months. And it's even been longer than that, because I'm 8 months out from surgery, but I had 6 weeks of a liquid diet, and I started to eat healthier and exercise and all that stuff even before the liquid diet started. So I'd say probably closer to around 10, 11 months at least of sticking to this, process, of sticking to all of these things, exercising, staying on top of exercising, making goals and keeping them, making good choices when I'm eating, like all of this kind of stuff. This is definitely the longest time I've ever been able to stick to something like that. So yeah, so these are just some things that I've been thinking about, and like, what's different? How has this surgery made things easy? I don't want to say easier, because by no means is this path easy, but something is different that has caused me to be more motivated, more motivated, more, I guess, not really strict, but like just making better decisions in general. Because, okay, so you guys know, like, I have been pretty good at sticking to exercise. Like I've told you guys, minimally 3 days a week, walking at the very least. I've been doing some jogging. I've been doing some other sporadic things, but I've always stuck to that 3 times a week. I don't think there's been any week that I haven't at least done that. I've also, it's crazy. I can go to a restaurant and I would say 90. It is so very rare that I make a decision that is not, that is something that is detrimental to my weight loss. I can't even, like, okay, so for example, occasionally I will get like maybe an ice cream cone from McDonald's. It's not all the time. It's not even once a week. It's not, I'd probably say maybe on average, I've done it 1 to 2 times a month on average. Um, if that. And to me, that is totally different than any other time. Even when I'm at my best and I'm making the healthiest choices, um, I I was like, I would be great or fantastic for like 6 days of the week or whatever, but that seventh day, I was making up for it. Like it was like my cheat day, and I needed that cheat day. I had to have it. And it's not like that for me anymore. I'm not perfect 100% of the time, but the majority of the time, I just make good decisions. I can't remember the last time I've went out to eat and have just been like, you know what? I've been doing so good, been losing so much weight. I'm just gonna have a big bowl of pasta. Well, that hasn't happened at all. At all. I haven't eaten pasta at all since this whole journey. But even like just when they bring out the bread, like I don't even like, oh, let me just have a piece of that bread. Where that's not going to be like detrimental to everything. You know what I'm saying? Like everything in moderation, why? But I don't even want it. It's just, I think the biggest reason for that is I have so little room in my stomach that I want to put things in my stomach that are going to benefit me. They're going to help fuel me. They're going to make me feel good. If I eat cookies and that's what I fill my stomach up with, like there's nothing that those cookies are doing for me. They have no nutritional value at all. They're going to make me feel like crap. They're going to maybe give me a sugar high for a certain amount of time. And when I say feel like crap, I want you guys to understand, for the most part, I can eat anything. Now, mind you, I haven't even tried cookies. I really haven't had a single cookie, but ice cream, obviously has sugar in it, and I have had that here and there. I have no adverse reactions to it. So I would assume I could eat cookies or cakes or anything like that with no problems, no issues. So it's not like literally my surgery, like as in, oh, it makes me sick, it makes me feel sick. It's like my body. Like, if you're on a no carb diet and all of a sudden you eat like something really high in sugar, it kind of just makes you feel like crap. It's more like that. So it's not my stomach that just can't handle it and will make me sick. It's just I'm like, you know what? I have so little room, or very little compared to what I used to. I just don't want to take up the room in that, like the room for that. It's just, what is that going to do for me if it's not protein, if it's not a healthy fat, if it's not a fruit or a vegetable or a fiber, something like that. Like, I don't need that. Like, it's not going to do anything for me. And I think that like my mindset is different. Before, like, I couldn't even think about, like, all I could think about is like my cheat day. Even when I lost and got down to 150 pounds, like I lived for my cheat day. Um, I haven't had a cheat day since I started this process. Like I haven't had, yeah, I've had days where I didn't make the best of decisions. Like I said, maybe one day I had ice cream or something like that. But for the most part, it was one thing that I had or that I ate. But I had just eaten a very healthy, or not just, but had a very healthy dinner or ate very healthy the rest of the time. Like, I hope this is making sense and I'm not just like confusing everybody. So yeah, so that's one thing. Very little room. So my mentality is like, I just want to put things that are going to help me, that are going to make me feel good into my stomach. I feel and felt like this is my last hope. Every time I have lost weight, especially when I lost and got down to 150 pounds and put it all back on plus some, I went into a very severe state of just I guess, depression. And I was never diagnosed with it, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it was. A very severe state. Just, I didn't think I was ever gonna like come out of that, as in like, not like suicidal or anything. I'm just saying like come out of it as in like I just had accepted the fact that I was going to be a fat and unhealthy person for the rest of my life, because I can't do it. I just can't do it. I had no motivation. I had no I had no, like, I just couldn't find it in myself. I had nothing to give. Like, I had been down that road of losing and gaining and losing and gaining and losing and gaining, and I had nothing else to give. I was just so done and so over it, that I just felt like that was like, there's nothing else that's ever going to get me motivated to get this weight off. Well, the surgery did that for me. When I had nothing else to motivate me and nothing else to work towards or give me something to work towards, or I just, it gave me something. It's like my last hope. It got me motivated and got me moving, and then got me to a point that I am now, that I am now motivating myself, whereas I had no motivation before, but it was like, well, you're getting the surgery, you're going to give it a try. So it was kind of like, it was forcing me to motivate myself. But now, because I've lost the weight and I can fit into all these clothes and I can shop anywhere and I'm not in plus size and I feel good about myself and I'm doing all of these things, and now I have my own motivation. Like, I'm excited about things and I'm excited about this. So I think it was something that just, it gave me that kick in the butt that I need to kind of get moving and get going down this path again. And I think I've learned a lot of lessons through all of the weight loss and weight gain. And, this is like my last, no more of, I'm not saying that I'm never going to gain. I'm not naive. I'm sure, I hope not, of course, but I just feel like I'm in a much better place to manage it. Instead of, if I put on 5 pounds, it's going to be like, okay, you had fun for that, whatever it was. You put on 5 pounds, we're back on the scale, we're back on monitoring. Let's, get cracking, and we're going to get that off, and, so not let it get out of control. Whereas in before, it's like you just kind of let it get out of control. It's 5 pounds and 10 pounds, and then you're like, 20 pounds, not that big of a deal, I'll start Monday and whatever. And then before you know it, you're like, you don't even look at the scale and you're, yeah. So anyway, so kind of like that gave me the motivation when I didn't have anything. Another thing is money. It wasn't cheap for me to get the surgery. My insurance did cover it, but I have a high deductible insurance. So with the surgery and all that stuff, I still spent somewhere between like $3,000 and $4,000 or something. So it wasn't cheap. That's money that out of my pocket, out of my family's pocket and stuff like that. So that's one other thing that's like a factor in motivating. It's like, I don't want to waste that. Like, don't want to be like, oh, just threw that money down the drain. Another thing is the support that you get with the surgery, because you have, well, one big thing for me is my family. Not to say that my family hasn't really been supportive of me before in my weight loss, but I made it a big deal to make sure I talked to my husband about the surgery and about things that I could potentially come across, and things that that I needed from him, and all of this kind of stuff. I just wanted to make sure he understood everything and he was on board, because I knew that support through this process was going to be really, really important, because it's not easy. So I made a point to make sure that we were on the same page, and that he was going to be the support that I needed, and all that kind of stuff. So my husband's support has been amazing. Then you have your surgeon, you have the dietitian. I go to support groups, you meet the people there. I met somebody in particular, my friend Stephanie, that I've talked about before, at the support group, that her and I just happen to live close to each other. So her and I have connected. So I've had that support as well. And you get all that support, which is great, but the other aspect of that is you also don't want to disappoint those people. You know what I'm saying? Of course I don't want to disappoint my husband. I don't want to disappoint myself. I don't want to disappoint my surgeon. I don't want to disappoint my dietitian. So that's also kind of a compounding factor. There's so many people involved in this process, and they're all rooting for you. And that's kind of what keeps me on track. Like, I don't want to disappoint those people. So another thing is just like, even though you guys pretty much know, like, my weight loss was pretty slow, I guess. Again, if you compare me to a lot of other people, it was pretty slow, but I try not to compare myself anymore. But it was slow, but it was consistent. That's something that I've never had before. I've always struggled so much with food and all that kind of stuff that before, when I've lost a great deal of weight, it was usually like I would work really hard and be really like on it or whatever for a couple weeks or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe even a month, whatever. And then I would kind of slip off. And then I'd put some weight back on. And then I would get back on it. And it was just kind of like a cycle. This is the first time that it's been pretty slow, which again, I'm okay with now. I was struggling with it in the beginning, but it's been consistent. I have had 1 week, so out of the 30 weeks or so that I'm out, I had 1 week that I had a gain, and it was like a point something. It wasn't even a pound. I don't even consider that a gain. Aside from that, I've had pretty consistent, on average, about 2-pound weight loss for 8 months. You know what I'm saying? Well, we don't know what this last month is holding for me on the scale, but for 8 months, like, I've had that. That's something I've never had before, like, and because of that, because it's just been a consistent thing where I haven't felt defeated, and then it's like, oh, I gotta find it to come back, and then it's defeated again and find it. There has been none of that back and forth. Like, now I'm at a point that it's like, it's just its own motivation. I feel good. I feel happy. I feel amazing. And, it's just because I feel like that gives me even more motivation to stay on it, to stay working, to stay moving in this direction, to keep from going into that horrible downward spiral that I've been in so many times before. It's just, it's given me that, and I'm so thankful. I've had people still comment on my 4-week update, where I was having a really hard time, and I said that I regretted VSG, and at that time I did. It obviously, it's a little too soon to be saying that I regretted it, but I've had a lot of people ask me, like, do you still regret it? And at this time, no. And no, I don't. I'm 8 months out. I don't regret it. I hope to put a video together for you guys again, like maybe once I'm a year out or 2 years out or whatever, and maybe I can give you guys even more insight to how this is different than any other time we've ever tried to lose weight. Those are my thoughts on it so far. I don't really know if that made sense to you guys, but that's just what I've been thinking about. That's just kind of what's been running through my mind anytime I get any downtime to think about anything but work and school. So yeah, that's kind of just where I was at. Hopefully that made sense to you guys. Maybe it helped somebody, maybe it doesn't. Maybe you just blabbered on for almost 30 minutes for absolutely no reason. Who knows? But anyways, guys, sorry, I keep hitting the desk, which shakes the camera. I'm going to wrap this up. Again, if you guys, please subscribe and comment. I love to talk to you guys. Even though I don't post videos as often, I'm pretty good about being on my comments and responding and things like that. So if you have any questions or anything, you can comment, or you can message me, or you can email me as well. But yeah, and also you can always go to my Instagram account if you, like I said, want more frequent updates. You can always follow me there. But That's it for now. Thank you guys so much for everybody who's been with me, everybody who's recently been subscribing. I think I was around 450 subscribers last time I checked, which is amazing. I didn't think one or two people would want to know, like, follow my journey. And the fact that I have close to 500 is freaking amazing. Like, it's so cool. So thank you guys so much for being here and for watching me and following my journey. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll try to come to you whenever I can. Yeah, so I'm going to wrap it up, guys. Bye.